This is episode 5 of Explaining the Bible Like I'm 5. Just into chapter 1 with Jesus literally being born. Now we're getting into the story. So, after Jesus was born in Bethlehem, which means house of bread. So our bread of life, which comes from later in the Gospels, Jesus refers to himself as the bread of life. God bless you. Our bread of life comes from the house of bread in Judea. During the time of King Herod. Okay, so 2 things. Judea is a clarifier because there's 2 Bethlehems. So we had to clarify which Bethlehem. Second, who is King Herod? King Herod is a turd. King Herod was a great builder, and he got many things accomplished. We can't say the man was not persistent, but he was insecure, paranoid, ruthless, and he even had his wife and kids killed. So he's crazy. And he's not a Roman. He's actually an Edomite, which we'll get into later. It's kind of like the Moabites in the last video. It's just one of the people groups. But he's a vassal king to Rome over Judea. So that's his district. He's a pseudo king. He's not really a king. He's still got to go through Rome. But I'm sure he gets off on being called King Herod. So anyways, so Jesus is born in Bethlehem during the reign of King Herod. Magi from the east came to Jerusalem. Okay, what is a magi? Magi are the 3 wise men. If you know the Bible story, you know the three wise men. Those are the magi. And they were most likely astronomers or astrologers because they're following the star. So they obviously have an understanding of the celestial signs. They came from the east to Jerusalem and asked, "Where is the one who has been born King of the Jews? We saw his star when it rose and have come to worship him." When King Herod heard this, he was disturbed. Why was he disturbed? Because he's an insecure turd that can't stand the thought of somebody worshiping another King of the Jews. Girl, say what? You said King of the Jews, not King Herod? So King Herod is spiraling at this point. So King Herod called together all the chief priests. This is all of the religious bigwigs and teachers of the law, religious bigwigs. And he asked them where the Messiah was to be born, because they are supposed to know this. This is prophesied in the Old Testament. They responded in Bethlehem in Judea, because another prophet from the Old Testament, Micah, had prophesied this. "But you, Bethlehem, in the land of Judah, are by no means least among the rulers of Judah." So you're not the bottom of the barrel, because out of you will come a ruler who will shepherd my people Israel. That is Jesus. This is fulfilling the birthplace, and this is what the religious bigwigs are telling King Herod as he's spiraling. So Herod called the Magi secretly and found out from them the exact time they had seen this star. The Star of Bethlehem, if you know the story. This is most likely several months later. But when we learn about the birth story around Christmas, it feels like all of this is happening right away. Like Jesus is born in a manger, and then boom, 3 wise men show up. Okay, well, first of all, we just assume there was 3 wise men because of the 3 gifts. We'll get into the 3 gifts in just a little bit. We have no idea how many wise men there were. Some say 12, some say 100. We have no idea. So that's the first misconception, which I think it has just made it easier with nativity scenes and recounting the birth story to just have it as 3 wise men, but we don't know how many there were. And several months has elapsed at this point. Herod sent the Magi to Bethlehem, where Jesus was born, and said, "Go and search carefully for the child. As soon as you find him, report to me, so that I too may go and worship him." Lies. He does not want to worship him. He wants to kill him because he's a turd, an insecure turd. So after the Magi heard the king, they went on their way, and the star they had seen when it rose went ahead of them until it stopped over the place where the child was. Most likely at this point, Jesus is 6 to 18 months old. We're jumping ahead. This is not close together. When they saw the star, they were overjoyed. On coming to the house, they saw the child with his mother Mary, and they bowed down and worshiped him. So they're worshiping an infant. Then they opened their treasures and presented him with gifts of gold, frankincense, and myrrh. Now these are significant because these gifts are representing the three qualities of Jesus. Jesus is our king, he's our priest, and he was our martyr. So gold represents the royalty, the king. Incense represents the divinity, the priest, because the priests in the Old Testament do a lot with incense. And myrrh represents death, him being martyred, crucified on the cross. And having been warned in a dream not to go back to Herod. So now the Magi are being warned in a dream, because whoever's warning them knows that King Herod wants to kill Jesus. They returned to their country by another route after being warned in a dream. When they had gone, and an angel of the Lord appeared to Joseph in a dream again. "Get up," he said, "take the child and his mother and escape to Egypt. Stay there until I tell you, for Herod is going to search for the child to kill him." Now this is very important, going back to those gifts. Those are very valuable. These gifts are divine, because these gifts are going to help pay for their travels to flee to Egypt, to flee from King Herod. Egypt was still a Roman province, but it was outside of Herod's rule. Once again, we have incredible obedience from Joseph. So he got up, took the child and his mother during the night, and left for Egypt, where he stayed until the death of Herod. Now this is Herod the Great. And so was fulfilled what the Lord had said through the prophet, "Out of Egypt I called my son." And this is in the book of Hosea in the Old Testament. When Herod realized that he had been outwitted by the Magi, he was furious because they were warned in a dream. And he gave orders to kill all the boys in Bethlehem and its vicinity who were 2 years old and under, in accordance with the time he had learned from the Magi, because a lot of time had elapsed here. So he's not really sure when this child was born or how old he is. So he says, just kill all the boys under 2. Remember how Herod is a turd? Yeah. So then this fulfilled another prophecy. A voice is heard in Ramah, weeping and great mourning. Rachel weeping for her children. Rachel is symbolic of all the Jewish mothers who just had their 2-year-old sons or younger massacred by King Herod. Rachel weeping for her children and refusing to be comforted, because they are no more. After Herod died, an angel of the Lord appeared in a dream to Joseph in Egypt and said, "Get up, take the child and his mother and go to the land of Israel, for those who were trying to take the child's life are dead." So Herod the Great has gone bye-bye. Again, we have immediate obedience. So Joseph, he got up, took the child and his mother and went to the land of Israel. But when he heard that Archelaus, not sure on pronunciation, was reigning in Judea in place of his father Herod, he was afraid to go there. Herod the Great's son was just as evil as he was. Their whole family is a hot mess. Having been warned in a dream, he withdrew to the district of Galilee. The area that he had dominion over was split up into 3 parts and given to 3 different sons. So I gotta look up how to pronounce this guy's name. Archelaus. Okay, good effort, but not even close. Okay, Archelaus. Archelaus was a turd. But the other brother that was over the district of Galilee, I guess, wasn't as bad. That's where Joseph took his family, and he went and lived in a town called Nazareth. So was fulfilled what was said through the prophets. He would be called a Nazarene. So this is in Isaiah, that prophet. Isaiah 11:1. Nazareth means bean or sprout town. And the prophecy said, "A shoot will come up from the stump of Jesse. From his roots a branch will bear fruit." Bean, sprout town. We got the same type of verbiage going on. And that closes out chapter 2. Some of our other commentary from later in the Gospels, we learn that Nazareth is a podunk town. Nothing significant about it. More symbolic things happening, that you don't have to be from wealth and greatness. You can come from a nothing town and save the world. So there we have our birth story. Matthew 3 is going to get into John the Baptist. So we're fast forwarding 30 years from here, making progress fast. If you have any questions, please leave them. As always, I will try my best to answer them, and we'll see you next time.